Hello and welcome to the Sorcerer's Revolution. I was just reading over my notes on that magnificent book in the series, The Power of Silence, one of my favourite Castaneda books, if not my favourite, probably next to The Wheel of Time, because that contains all the quotes. So it's like looking for gems in the sand when reading The Power of Silence again, because I remember the stories but I wanted to pick out those gems of knowledge and wisdom from Don Juan and the Toltec tradition. So today I wanted to focus on the abstract or the Nahual, also known as the spirit. Of course, these are terms, words that we use to describe something that really can't be conveyed in words exactly. I mean, in the everyday world, we can refer to these terms as abstract phenomena, which we intuit or we understand intellectually that we can conceptualize about. But that doesn't mean that we are actually in touch with that mysterious force, the abstract, the spirit. That doesn't mean that we are connected to that force. So, really, a sorcerer's business is to connect, really, with the abstract, the spirit, Nagual. Not merely think about it or talk about it or dream about it or reminisce about it, but to actually contact it. So the quote from the Power of Silence is, for a sorcerer, the spirit is an abstract simply because he knows it without words or even thoughts. It's an abstract because he can't conceive what the spirit is. Yet, without the slightest chance or desire to understand it, a sorcerer handles the spirit. He recognizes it, beckons it, entices it, becomes familiar with it, and expresses it with his acts. And in response to this, Carlos, the rather intellectually inclined student, tends to interpret all this in a very theoretical manner, or perhaps metaphorically or symbolically, not as something real and establishable. Um, and he shook his head in despair, and he said, I couldn't see the difference. So Don Juan goes on to say, the roots of your misconception is that I have used the term abstract to describe the spirit. He said, for you, abstracts are words which describe states of intuition. An example is the word spirit, which doesn't describe reason or pragmatic experience, and which, of course, is of no use to you other than to tickle your fancy. Of course, this made Carlos furious. But this is how it is for most people. I mean, they might have fantastical notions or romantic notions of what sorcery is, or what a sorcerer is, or what he or she can do, or what they get up to, um, or whether it's just plain nonsense. And for most people, it is plain nonsense because it's understood purely in the tonal from the point of view or perspective of everyday experiences and everyday concerns. I mean, how can something so abstract as the spirit be understood in any other way when one is merely attuned to survival, merely attuned to making money and paying the bills and engaging with all the other domains of practical life, social life, etc. See? So what Don Juan is saying is that the spirit is not a thought. It's not anything you can think about. It's also not, contrary to what some people might think, a feeling. It's not a feeling. The spirit, the abstract, Nagual, not a feeling, nor is it a presence or an awareness of a presence. Rather, the abstract is a direct connection with intent, with the will of the universe, an actual direct contact, an ongoing relationship with the spirit, the governing intelligence of the universe, the great law, consciousness itself. These are all words again, it's all fingers pointing to the moon. But it is a real experience. I mean, actually, to call it an experience is not quite correct. Just as to call what we're doing here, handling perception and mastering intent and awareness and shifting the assemblage point and moving the assemblage point and discovering the totality of ourselves is not sorcery, as most people understand that word, to do with some hocus pocus or magic rituals and spells and incantations and invocations and all that malarkey. Of course, these things do have their place, but they're at a lower level, because sorcery, as we understand it, as modern day Naguals understand it, is about perception and awareness. And we want to clarify these things. It's a science in its own right. It's an art in its own right. It's a discipline in its own right. It's a practice also. So, these are very real phenomena which we must engage in, which we must open ourselves up to, which we can make ourselves accessible to. So these are not just thoughts and feelings, or images, or projections, or memories, or contemplations, or concepts. All of these belong to the tonal order and all have their place, just as the personal self has its place. But it's not the whole picture. It cannot contain the whole picture. Not even close. See? So our business as sorcerers is to directly connect with the source, intent. How do you do that? For practical purposes, you call it out. You say, intent. That's how you do it. Simple as that. The spirit responds to who's serious. If it sees that you're serious, it will come to meet you. Thanks for listening.